Hello, everybody! Welcome back for another Toonkind FPS. 12 FPS. This time it's between myself and the lovely Vamp. My name's Briggs. Very nice to meet you. I'll be playing a Dr. Grey Matter today. And Vamp, if you'd like to introduce who you're playing?
Hello, hello, hello. Today I shall be playing Umi, who I'm pretty certain is a cat disguised as a child.
Sounds accurate. Uh,
Yep,
a particularly water-loving kitty, then.
yep.
Hmm. Alright, so to set the scene,
You
I
could
think
almost
today...
call them. You could almost call them a catfish.
Oh, good. Very good. Very, very good. Uh, oh yeah, we should probably say what the title of the FPS is, shouldn't we? It
Oh
is
yeah.
it is Cephalo-Pals. Like cephalopods, but Cephalo-Pals. Friends. Yeah. Puns. It's Toonkind. Please come back, Abby. We love you. Um
Oh my god.
so to set the scene, I think this is going to be taking place in Ruindall, down in the newly refurbished, revamped, remodeled laboratory, evil laboratory. About the only
Yep.
thing that it's missing is a good old lightning rod. Uh, but I think Dr. Matter is currently in the midst of trying to install that. Um, so just tinkering away, like four. Yeah,
Doing evil things
Yeah,
evilly.
evil. Yeah, you gotta have a lightning rod to, deliver lightning down to your evil creations.
Yes, good.
As one does. Let's see if I can post some artwork of the good doctor.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh he,
aha.
oh,
Oh, oh,
oh, oh,
oh,
oh.
that's me. I love the file we have for this FPS
Yes,
already.
yeah, we we did not plan very much, but yes, here's the
Ew.
doctor.
That is the doctor, and
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna roll something real quick.
Okay.
Oh wait, sorry, not plus four. I keep forgetting this is not Marcel. That's
Oh,
a 13, and because disadvantage is here on land. Yeah, 13. That's a 13 in stealth.
okay. Let's see. Let's see. Passive perception is 10, and I don't think the doctor is currently looking out for anything, so Umi's good. Maybe
Yeah.
like has like one of those moments where they like pinwheel like as they're trying to sneak around, slipping on a surface, but they're good.
Umi has snuck into the laboratory. This has been a success because Umi has been curious about the doctor ever since they got introduced to them, and they are now just like watching the doctor do whatever the doctor is doing and kind of like staring at them.
Hmm. The doctor, for on his part, is currently attempting to finish off the lightning rod, getting it like trying to retrofit a lightning rod so that it reaches down through the earth and into the laboratory has been interesting. So let's see if he has had much luck with that. I'm trying to. I guess what it would be like for building something. Probably like an intelligence check.
Probably.
Yeah. So, oh, that's and three. A 14. I mean, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah. And he's
It's not
certainly
getting there
going
as
at it with a will.
yeah, it's not getting there as quickly as the doctor might like, but it's certainly getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And well, Umi just watches her a bit, and they're curious. Like they have seen like lightning rods before, but this is like the first time that they're watching someone like kind of like construct it. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think at one point, like one of the large metal tentacles that come out of his backpack is like feeling around in the laboratory for something, and he's like, "Where is that wrench?" Um,
And I think like it's that gag where Umi like hands the gray matter, the wrench, and gray matter just says thank you. That we have.
yes. Yes, thank you. Let's see. Okay, turn to quarter turn, and let's see if he notices, like he makes the realization, maybe.
Oh my
Yes,
god,
he does. like, uh,
that's a
there's just like
19.
everything freezes for a sec. And he turns up and turns around. He's like, "Oh, hello. I didn't hear you come in. Uh, hi. We met up above, I believe. I don't. Did I get your name? I don't think I got your name.
Umi Umi shakes their head. They're probably like seated on one of the counters of the lab and kind of like cross-legged on top of it.
Well, do make yourself at home. Uh, hmm. What is your name, by the way?
Umi finger spells Umi.
Uh, there's a beat. And wait. Oh. Toon sign language. Hmm. Uh, well, he knows some sign language, so let's see if he recognized all those letters. He did! UMI. Umi? Umi?
Umi nods at the second
Oh,
pronunciation.
Umi. Okay. So, you'll forgive me, I hope, but I do not. I'm rusty on the Toon sign language. Uh, hmm. Is it. Is that the only way you know how to communicate?
Umi taps their chin consideringly and shakes their head.
Okay. Huh. Well, that's going to be
They
a bit
look
of a
kind
problem.
of judgy. They look kind of judgy because Umi does have a way to communicate, and like they can always like summon their familiar and have her translate. But like Ruby also doesn't have. Ruby also like if this doctor doesn't know sign, this doctor is going to have a time in Ruindall.
Oh boy, is he ever! And this was certainly not something that he really learned about his new coworkers when he was introduced to them. Uh, God, he still doesn't even know that there is a little furry bugger or a rat member of the crew. So
Yeah,
far, all he knows is that it's just Umi and Ruby, and they're both children.
Umi isn't even employed. Umi is just here. Umi is like a cat that came in and then never left.
He doesn't know this.
Oh, you poor son of a bitch.
Hmm.
But yeah, Umi kind of taps like the lightning rod and looks questioningly at the doctor.
Hmm. Oh, this? Oh, well, I'm installing it because, well, one, aesthetics. Every mad scientist should have one of these. Two, they are great for those big power surges that you might need for, any particular evil experiment. Once I got this hooked up to a dampener, I could even store the energy for later use. Perhaps in getting that portal covered and locked up, uh, like the boss wants. Uh,
Umi's just listening to all this, like not everything, like they don't understand everything. Cause I imagine like the doctor slips into some scientific jargon every now
oh
and then.
yeah, it's once you get him started, it's a little hard to get him to stop. Um,
Yeah, but like they just listen and they nod
mm,
and
mm-hmm. Well,
and
you're a good listener. Hmm. Okay, well, it shouldn't be too long for me to finish this up. One moment. Um, let's see if he can get this finished. Oh, yep, nat 20. Okay. Uh,
nice.
having
I
had
guess
it.
I guess having someone watch him like he's determined not to fail.
Oh yeah. Then he actually does like finishes it up with panache. Like it's like watching an octopus go to work. A very coordinated octopus, just like zip.
Umi gives polite applause, like
Thank you. And the doctor bows theatrically. Uh, excellent, excellent. Uh, now we just need a thunderstorm. Hmm. Suppose I should make a weather machine next. Where could I fit one of those? He starts looking around the lab, like prospectively, like maybe you could like dig out a little bit more of the surrounding rock. Um, and for a second, Ubi probably feels like maybe the doctor forgot them Because it certainly looks like he certainly just sort of starts acting like Umi's not
Yeah,
there anymore.
Umi just yeah, Umi doesn't really mind. Like they just hop off and examine the lightning rod, and because this is a Toonkind 12 FPS, and this is like Anquel. I'm so tempted to say that like a thunderstorm like starts rumbling in the distance.
Oh, that's great. Like I think oh geez, would he hear it? I assume Umi hears it.
Oh yeah, because literally this is Umi's thing. Connection to the ocean. Like they like blink
Oh
and
no,
they
he does
pull
not.
at Grey Matter's sleeve.
Oh, what? Yes? What? What
They
is
sign thunderstorm incoming.
good two I think at disadvantage because that's a little more. Okay, so he got one thunderstorm. Um, hmm, thunderstorm. Yes, that's what I need. Uh, hmm.
Umi signs the second word again.
Like the doctor looks a little closer. Is like, no, that's not what I'm familiar with. Uh, this is going to be a problem. You know what? I think I'm
You
going to scrap the weather machine idea for right now and work on something that allows me to communicate with you a little better. Um, hmm.
Umi sighs, and I'm gonna roll Hammer's face.
Okay. Yeah,
They
yeah.
they take out a conch shell. It's a very pretty conch shell. It's like pale orange yellow cream on the outside with a very bright pink inside.
Ooh, very
And
nice. What
they
is?
and they blow in it, and they're casting Find Familiar.
Oh, cool.
And gray matter, you see as a ribbon of black and white starts coming into shape around Umi's arm, and with the Umi's familiar
Oh,
comes and appears, and it's a sea snake. It's a sea
aw,
snake.
cute. Oh, hello.
Hello, sir.
Oh,
I do not believe I have seen you before.
is it the snake talking or is it Umi talking
No,
to
it
this?
is the snake talking.
No, I've not seen you either. I'm new to Ruindall, and, well, uh, I guess this would kind of make you my coworker as well. Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Grey Matter. I work
I am
here.
I am Machi. I am Umi's familiar. It is very nice to meet you. And well, the snake I can't like speak that fast, but please imagine this being spoken very loudly and very quickly
Hmm?
because Maji as a familiar is completely opposite from Umi and is a bit of a chatterbox.
Aw, I like the snake. I like Umi too, but the snake's very cute.
And Umi kind of taps on her scales for a moment, and she pauses and cocks her head. Go, oh yes, 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 yes. Of course, young master. Young master wants me to tell you that a thunderstorm is incoming.
And the doctor immediately like bolts upright and is like, "Oh, this is excellent. Uh, come. Do you know how far away it is?"
Since young master says it's, I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Okay.
And Umi probably hears it and says, it is 9 minutes away.
Uh, uh, 9 minutes. Excellent. Okay, that gives me 4 minutes to start on this. Uh, hmm. What should I call it? The sign language machine. Sign language machine will do for now. 4 minutes, and then we get 5 minutes to get up to the top, so we can laugh evilly while the thunderbolt hits the lightning rod and activates for the first time. Uh, just gotta get the aesthetics right. Okay. 1 second. This like starts like shoving like stuff off of one table so he can like pull some more stuff up and starts tinkering with it. Uh, see if he has much luck in this thing he wants to make.
He's making a languageinator.
It's going to go very slow. He's realizing he's missing an important piece, and that is he doesn't understand the sign language, so he can't really program it. Uh,
Yeah. I think mechanically Umi will give a help action in the sense that this is actually someone who understands sign language and blah 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 integration of magic and technology. It's D&D. It's Toons.
Yeah. Oh, much better. 16. Okay. One like as soon as Umi like steps in, and starts adding like her inputs, like the signing, the shapes and such. Uh, like he actually like takes his backpack off, puts it up on the table, and has her like do the input into the backpack while he's tinkering around inside it. And in the span of managing in like the span of maybe 4 or 5 minutes, because he get a little carried away, there's a little shink and a boop, and he puts the backpack back on. He says, "Okay, sign language mode, go," and like two of the tentacles come out, and he starts talking, and the tentacles start signing along with it. And he's like watching it go, looking at for like any like little glitches. He's like, "Yes, hello, my name is Dr. Grey Matter. Umi and Magi helped me make this modification. Oop, modification didn't come through quite right. Well, we can figure it out. We must get up topside to watch the storm."
Umi nods at that, and off they go.
Yep. And thankfully, the various pitfalls have been removed from this section of Ruindall. So I imagine they're able to get outside just in time to watch like the storm forming overhead, the wind, the blowing the trees over, like a grass in a field. Probably pretty
Yeah,
impressive considering it's in the jungle.
yeah, it's a thunderstorm,
Boy.
and Umi is kind of unimpressed because they came from like independent isles, like they came from islands. They have experience with tropical storms,
Hmm.
so they're just watching it and like they're just watching it and they're pretty calm, and they kind of look over the doctor to see how the doctor setting up the weather machine is going.
He's setting it up around near where the lightning rod enters into the rock towards the lab below. Um, and he's like, "Okay, should I pose like this? Like arms outstretched? Should I have the like he's apparently he's getting a little distracted and have the perfect Mad Doctor pose to make when the lightning strikes. If the lightning strikes, I guess we'll find out. Um, but in the meantime, like the lower set of arms is finishing up the work on attaching the weather machine onto it. Uh, and it kind of beeps and whirs and looks a little out of place among like the jungle foliage and the ruins.
Eep,
Yeah.
eep,
Ah,
eep.
how does this look? He looks to Umi for some feedback.
I think it looks splendid. That's Magi. Umi is just shrug emoji.
Ah, Umi, come here. You do it. You do it. Let me take a step back and look at it.
Umi blinks and he goes to do it. What is Doctor asking Umi to do, by the way?
To take up like the evil mad scientist pose, like giving like a big laugh as the lightning hits the rod. Aesthetics.
Yeah,
So the doctor can
Umi.
take a step back and see how it looks.
I guess I roll performance.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my god. You know, I was expecting a lot of rolls when we did this FPS. I never thought for a second that I would be rolling performance.
Ta-da! A 10. Um, I guess Umi's not really feeling it.
Umi, it's hard to do it when you're like, Umi's expression doesn't really change.
Hmm. And like I think this is the doctor's turn to help her out, like coaching them to you know lift arms a little higher, put this one at a bit of an angle, and like mouth open wide, lower the brows, widen the eyelids. Trying to like coach them to really get
Did I
the
roll that?
yeah reroll for advantage. Oh no!
Advantage, advantage, advantage.
Yeah,
Oh,
19.
that's a
Woo!
19.
Okay, yeah. I'm also going to say, let's see. I'm just going to do a d20, a 16. Um, you know what? I think that's probably good enough. Just as soon as Umi perfects their mad scientist pose, boom, right behind them, the lightning hits the rod, And
God, sure is a good thing it didn't either of them.
oh, what was that?
Sure is a good thing it didn't hit either of them.
No, that's what a lightning rod's for. Hmm.
Mhm.
And Dr. Matter just like claps all six limbs. Is like, oh, very good, very good. Oh wait, that was supposed to be me. Oh well, I got a preview for the next time. Oh, let's go below. Let's go below. Like, if he's going to like reach out with like one of the arms to like grab Umi by the back of the shirt because he's so excited to get back down. Does Umi allow that?
Yeah, Umi allows it. Like,
Okay. So he zips back down the steps with Umi just in tow, like behind him in one of the robotic arms. Uh,
yeah. Machi, meanwhile, is like talking a million miles per second and it's just like, how excited!
that
Mad
was
scientist, young master. I don't think we've ever met anyone like this before. Oh, I wonder how young Mistress Ruby will react to him.
oh the. Do you mean the other one? The one with the red coat?
Yes, that is young Mistress Ruby.
Ruby. Okay, I didn't catch her name. Uh, yes. She seemed fine. Nice young lady. Completely oblivious to how Ruby actually feels about him.
Umi kind of like catches Maji's eyes and just shakes their head.
But as they get down into the laboratory, like the console around where the 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 lightning rod had been struck is lit up. There's like sparks. It's like flying off of it in various dimensions. It looks very much a bit like a Jacob's ladder. There's probably a Jacob's ladder somewhere in that configuration. So the arcs are traveling up that, and he's like, and Doctor finally gets a chance to do like the mad scientist pose. He's like he just drops Umi unceremoniously while he like does like the mad scientist cackle.
And Umi just watches and like they're glad the doctor's having so much fun? Question mark.
mm, yeah, question mark.
But
He
and
certainly
they
is
do like
enthusiastic.
pull at the doctor's sleeve and points at the lightning rod and signs out a question asking what it does.
Uh, all right, so I think it allows him to sign, but he still has to understand other people. So he's good. That okay. What does it do? So let's see how he does. Two. Give him some advantage because he. Okay, yeah, four. Oh, well. Like he glides on over to one. He's like, this one stores the power, and he glides into the other one. This one helps to redistribute it, controls it, kind of like a surge protector. Make sure it goes to all the parts that energy needs. And then he goes to the like Jacob's ladder, and this one is for aesthetics. It looks great, doesn't it?
I think it looks splendid.
Ah,
It looks
thank you, thank you,
fantastic.
thank you, thank you. Um,
Maji is kind of like swaying and Maji like kind of like looks at the scientist and hisses out like a question that Umi wants to ask and also her. So what are you going to use it for right now, or are you going to save it for much later?
hmm, good question. Well, the boss wants it to be used. I'll probably be using it to utilize in making a door for that pit
That's
over there. And he,
boring.
I know it's not the most exciting thing I know, but in return for getting the freedom to make a lab of my own design, there are some prices that must be paid. And
Maji
anyway,
and Umi
mhm,
Maji and Rumi trade a look, or well, more accurately, Maji looks at Umi. Umi gives a shrug. Maji looks back at the doctor, and Maji goes, "Does and the skeleton know about your lightning rod?
I didn't mention it to him.
Then why would he know if you use it for something else?"
Hmm. I suppose I could use a portion of it. There's always more thunderstorms to come, especially if I finish that weather machine up top. Uh, uh, Not a bad idea. Did you have an idea, young Umi, for what we could do with this?
Umi kind of like gives another shrug. Like they don't really know. They don't know much about science in general, but their body language is open. Like they wouldn't mind listening to whatever ideas the doctor has in mind. They're a very good listener.
No aspirations for the scientific process, I see. Well, that's fine. Uh, let's see. He looks around the laboratory. Let's see. Let's see. Tell you what. You point to something that you're curious about, and we'll see if we can use it.
All right. What is in the doctor's laboratory?
He's got like a few like growing beds where there are some rather infernal looking plants growing, shall we say? Probably the doctor made a probably an illicit trip down through the portal in question that Antler wants him to cut off, and got some clippings of from some plants from there and is trying to regrow them for whatever purposes they may serve. There is a closed off in sort of area behind like a glass screen where there is a rather zombified horse with kind of like a cranial like a large cranial like dome over its on its head, where you can kind of see a brain through it, and printed on the side there is Abby, ABBY, pause normal, lifted on there. Also with a warning, she bites. Next to the enclosure, there is a table where the doctor was doing his assembly of the sign language machine with a bunch of just odds and ends and bits and bobs. One of the and like in a lot of cases the wires from the lightning rod and its storage capacitor are leading through the lab to these areas, so
Mm-hmm.
it's available. There's also his like private study. There's like a desk with some books on the side, some jars of questionable liquid, all very you know, classic mad scientist kind of aesthetic.
I know there are two things that Umi is interested in right now, and I am rolling a d2 to see which one they point at.
Okay.
Okay, they point at the zombie horse.
Ah, yes, abnormal. Ah, yes, one of the very first brains I ever had the chance to work with. Uh, as you might consider, very abnormal, a bit anomalous. Uh, some interesting properties to this one. Let's find out. Goes over and like a little panel opens up. He types like presses some buttons, and these apparatus come down from the ceiling. Start pointing at the zombie horse, and Dr. Matter gives the shows the panel to me. Says, "Take your pick." And there are a few buttons. There is a green one, a red one, and a black one.
They press the green one. It's the closest to their favorite color.
Okay. Um, and with a like there is a kind of like a safety plating, I would say, that comes down with a window so you can watch through it, and then a bolt of like green lightning comes down, strikes Abby normal, and then there's like a poof of smoke, and when it clears, there is a zombie donkey there instead. Ah, yes. Very nice polymorph. It's kind of limited to subsets of the same animal kingdom, if you will.
Umi is blinking, and Magi is like, but Magi is like betraying Umi's assignment and like is talking about a minute and asking a lot of rapid fire questions. I'm not even gonna try because I am not that big of a chatterbox.
The doctor's like, yes, no, no, yes. Only on Tuesdays, and if we're lucky, no. In
Can
response
it
to the questions.
can it change people aside from this zombie horse?
Not recommended, really. It's pretty painful if you're not, already somewhat dead.
Magi nods and Umi nods solemnly. And then Umi kind of like points at the red button and hawks their head.
Go ahead.
They press the red button.
The plate comes back down. This time, red lightning arcs out and hits the zombie donkey. And when it clears, um, uh, Where's the donkey? And the doctor's just kind of standing to the side, like rubbing his hands
Donkey
together
gone?
and giggling. The donkey's gone. Look a little closer. Look a little. Yeah. Look. Yeah. Look a little. Yeah. Look.
I'm gonna roll perception.
Okay.
Wow, the feeling when you have a character who actually has amazing perception. Boy, how
Yeah. Isn't it great? Oh
oh
no. uh, the doctor he brings out like one of his tentacles and like a few like different like magnifying lenses pop out and he offers the use to Umi. Go ahead and roll that again at advantage. Ooh,
I'm
nice.
not even gonna
19.
roll.
Okay, with the use of the magnifying lenses, you have to go in like really close, but you finally see a very, very tiny, diminutive little zombie donkey on the floor of the enclosure.
And Umi just blinks, and Magi is once again like firing off rapid questions.
Yes, no, maybe. I haven't quite got all the bugs sorted on that one. Uh, but if you press this again, and he presses the button again, and there's another again red lightning thing, zoop, and there's a large, normal sized donkeys on the in the enclosure.
Umi taps the black button and looks at the scientist questioningly, and Magi goes, "Is this a self-destruct button?"
No, I wouldn't want to hurt the lab like that, but maybe we should take a few steps back.
All right, Umi takes a few steps back, and then I assume that's the go-ahead to press the black button.
Yep. And again, the plate comes down. There's a zap and a poof, and there's like a black cloud that comes out of the this time. And when it raises up, um, it's all donkey. It's like you're getting in a very odd look into a donkey dimension where everything is donkey,
Oh my god.
but just within the confines of the enclosure.
And this time, both Umi and Maji turn to look at like the doctor incredulously, and like Maji goes, "Why did you come up with this?"
Uh, because I could.
Fair enough.
Okay, the doctor presses it again, and after another poof, there is a singular donkey, and everything is the proper stone and glass and bars that it should be.
And Umi like looks at the donkey and looks at the doctor and signs pet.
Uh, one sec. Like the one of his tentacles reaches out around the lab, grabs a muzzle essentially, and sloops it up over the head of the donkey and says, "Okay, now you can."
Umi pets the donkey. Should I roll animal handling for this?
Yeah, because I mean donkeys have other ways to yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
19. Umi has petting practice.
Yes. The zombie donkey is accepting the pets with more grace than you would expect of someone who has just been turned into a donkey, tinified, bigified, and then sent become the entire universe inside of this tiny cell. It yeah. That's one of the
Umi's
things I love about Abby. She just takes everything in stride.
I imagine that while like Umi is like scratching behind Abby's ears, like the doctor is like rambling and he gets so distracted he gets within kicking range.
Oh, yes. I'll make a dexterity saving throw.
Me or the doctor?
Uh, both maybe? I
I mean,
assume.
Umi's in
I think.
front of like Abby, and Umi rolled a 19 in
Oh,
animal
yeah, it would
handling.
definitely be at the doctor then. Okay, 14. We'll do it like 2d6 plus 4. A 9. He's used to working with Abby, so he sees the kick coming and is able to like kind of like one of his tentacles comes out and like pushes him out of the line of trajectory. He's like ah ah ah. Oh, she hates me so much. Uh,
Umi does not even flinch. Like they just like keep like
Mhm.
scratching behind Abby's ears
Uh,
and kind of rendering this donkey into like a happy gooey bliss of like
hmm
petty.
It is. Are some gooey patches, just to let you know. It is zombie.
Umi does not mind.
Okay, but yes, you have a very content donkey now that now that the doctor has kind of moved away again.
And Umi gives the donkey one last pat and then a little kiss on the snout
Aw.
before like going back like out like, and following the doctor.
Oh, all done. Right. Takes the muzzle off and then closes up the enclosure again. After putting like some handfuls of hay over into like the little feeding trough. All right, excellent. Anything else you were possibly interested in?
Umi points at the plants.
Plants, yes. I found a few. Some of them have some interesting properties. For instance, uh, well, I don't have really anyone to experiment this on, and you're not exactly the right type of animal to be using this on. So like he shows you like one of the mushrooms, which is kind of a flat teal dome with bright, vivid orange spots. He says, uh, "So what happened? Most pig animals, boars, anything related in that regard, find this mushroom terrifying for some reason. They take one look and they run the other way."
Umi considers this and blinks at Magi, but unfortunately warlocks only have two spell slots, and if
Aw.
they summon Magi and summon her again as a pig, like that's gonna use up all their spell slots.
Oh, I know. Though we.
Yeah, I know. Umi does like explain it via sign, although I don't know how much the doctor would understand.
ah. What is Umi trying to sign?
Umi would say that norm as much as they would love to de-summon Magi and summon her again as a pig. Unfortunately, warlocks only have two spell slots.
Hmm. I'm gonna say just for the sake of expedience that he does get the gist of it. If like he probably is going to need to take some time to actually learn sign language himself. Um, but for the most part, he can. Well, he can always talk to you, but
E.
but yeah, he gives them the option. Um, huh. Well, maybe some other time then. Let's see. As for this one, it shows a one that's kind of growing down from the ceiling. I actually used a little bit of this in reconstructing the tentacles for my octopus backpack. Uh, they have excellent rigidity, and well, they though do be careful, don't step too close. That they like to strangle. Great tensile strength, though.
Umi Umi cocks their head
Oh,
curiously, and I'm gonna roll something real quick.
hmm?
That's a two. Umi reaches into their hammer space and takes out a pebble. And
Oh.
Umi kind of like tosses it towards the direction of the vines.
Uh, The vines do not react though, like when the pebble hits. I see you're trying something there. So let's see, what can we do here? Uh, hmm. Oh yes, I caught some mice earlier. Let's try them. So it goes over to like a little cage and takes out like a little brown my mouse. He says, and then hands it to him. He's like, "Would you like to do the honors?"
Umi blinks, and Umi kind of like pets the mouse for a moment, and then Umi kind of like holds the mouse out towards the vines.
Um, and the vines kind of twitch, and like one of them starts like slinking over towards the mouse. But let's see what it goes to grab. Okay,
Please
so
grab Umi. Please grab Umi.
if it's a one, it's an umi. If it's a two, it's a mouse.
Please,
The
Umi. Dad,
mouse! No!
no.
And then with like a quick zip, the tentacle has grabbed the mouse and seems to be rolling it up further into its anatomy, up back towards the ceiling. Uh,
Umi like blinks and Umi nods. They've seen what they had to, and then Umi kind of like reaches up to like grab the mouse and pull it back.
okay. Let's see. Make a sleight of hand check?
And they have disadvantage because they're on land. So
Aw,
that's the 7.
a 7. No. Um, let's see. That would be okay. Sleight of hand versus perception on the part of the plant. Uh, a
It's a
7.
plan,
I
not
know it's a
perception.
plant. It doesn't really have perception. It knows that you're trying to get close to it, though. So you know what? It's going to try and grapple you.
Alright, sure. Grapple. Would that be strength?
Yes, and I have no idea. We'll say this is like the plant's general mode of like grabbing. Oh, that's a 21. Yeah, Umi, you were grabbed.
Yeah.
Like one of the other tentacles like reaches out and then wraps around your arm and starts tugging you toward it.
Umi just blinks. Their face still doesn't change.
Hmm. Interesting. Uh, no, one sec. The doctor goes off to another part of the lab and like starts rummaging through something. Uh, uh, yeah, and like you're getting closer and closer, and it starts
Maji,
starting to wrap you
Maji,
up more.
Maji is just like, young master. And like looking at like the scientists and going, would you mind so terribly if the young master got if the young master casts the spell?
Oh, not at all. Hold on, let me observe. Like grabs like a notepad and a pencil and comes on back. Go ahead. Just
All
like
right,
gets like very excited look to like write down everything that's going to happen.
all right. First of all, Umi is going to try chill touch.
Okay.
Make an ranged spell attack.
Let's spell it. Oh, wait, is that you're the one who does that?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah,
it,
that'll hit.
yeah. That's a 19 plus
Or
6. That
25,
makes
yeah.
it. Yeah, and blah blah blah. So it's 2d8 cold damage.
Oh dang, 12. Okay, considering these things are from a version of hell, I'm gonna say that does like triple damage because these plants are not used to cold. So well, double damage, so 24 instead, and the tentacle that's hold or the vine that's holding you starts to wither, and you can feel the where it's holding you, it becomes brittle, and Umi can just kind of snap out of it.
E. Oh shit, someone's calling me. I'll be right back.
Okay,
I'm sorry about this.
yeah, you're fine. You're
You're
fine. Go ahead. Commercial break. Let's see. What should the commercial break be for? Uh, tired of kids getting on your lawn? Dial 1-800 Strangler to have our weeding professionals install Stranglebite on your lawn. Guaranteed the kids will never leave. I have the commercial breaks. Uh, uh, oh no, is it? Oh, you know it's bad. I'm making myself kick. The one and only. Oh boy. What's that line about? Like, oh jeez, the one true king. There's something about like the Lord of the Rings. The like, there's a poem. God, I wish I could remember it. I'm the Doom Rings. I'm gonna drink some tea. Don't mind me. So really, you wouldn't want to install like Stranglevine on your lawn because it wouldn't remove the kids. It would just keep them there forever. I think maybe you'd want the ones that you'd want like something that actually just kind of like is like a wacky waving inflatable tube man just all over your lawn, tiny, so it just whacks the kids away. Or they just get caught in an endless loop of being whacked to one part of the lawn and then the other. Yeet. Oh man, I want the doctor like to to branch out into uh breeding new and more interesting versions of Stranglevine. Branch out. Branch out, yeah. Oh boy. Plant puns. I sure do hope Vamp comes back, because I would hate to leave it here. I can't believe this. Very nice, Dee Dee. Guess I gotta figure out the root of this problem, huh? Yeah, but yeah. But I think by the end of this FPS, Umi and the Doc will be good buds. Oh, nice one, Locke. You can come up with some better puns if you just stick to it. Fable bonding. Ruby burying her head in her hands. They'll be buds. Magic, are you okay over there? The mice? Why mice? You know why? He's got the cage full of mice, and he's got a mushroom that scares pigs. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah, the lab coats. Eventually, he'll actually have the zombie pigman that's in the Minecraft version of this laboratory. I would not blame Duster one bit or one bite. Do you think Yzma is standing on like a box for that scene? Because I don't recall her being that tall. But she's just kind of like right on his level there. Um, the doctor does have snacks.
Hello?
Welcome back! Yay!
I'm so sorry about that. My mom called and I couldn't hang up.
Hey, moms are important.
Yee.
I hope Mama Vamp is
I
doing good.
see everyone is getting the doctor's ass.
Yes.
He deserves it, kinda.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, you said something about the chill touch dealing triple damage.
Double
Oh,
damage, because it's vulnerable to cold damage. It's
oh
normally in
wait,
a.
hold on.
Oh,
Sorry, I forgot. It deals necrotic damage, not cold
necrotic
damage.
damage. Okay,
Without being called chill touch.
okay, I'm gonna say that there's probably still some withering, enough that Umi could get away, uh, unless they'd like to, just completely annihilate the plant.
Um, no, Umi isn't trying to completely annihilate the plant.
Okay, so like spots on it start to like wither and blacken, like like it's starting to die, and it's definitely enough for you Umi to get out. Uh, the
Does
doctor's just
Umi
like,
get the mouse? Does Umi get the mouse out as well?
um, yeah, that's in a different. The mouth is wrapped up currently in a different vine, and you can hear like a little panic squeak squeak.
Umi stares at the mouse, and like on one hand, they understand that plants also have to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Plants gotta
understand
eat.
this very well, considering civilization. On the other hand, a voice that kind of sounds like Kaido, or like kind of sounds like what they imagine Ruby would sound like, or Duster is
Mm-hmm.
telling them to save the mouse,
Aw.
and
The
so they
doctor's
just
just
like
like madly scribbling down observations and notes,
so
watching
Umi
all
just
this.
sighs and like just casts chill touch on the other plant.
Okay, go for it. A 9.
It's a
I
plant,
mean, it is a plant. That's still pretty low. I'm gonna say you hit like one of the other vines.
alright?
Okay.
That's 8 damage.
Okay.
Umi
That.
sighs and tries again.
Okay, go for it. Ugh,
Oh, come on.
I'm in trouble. Okay. After being hit once with the spell, the vines seem to be attempting to avoid being hit. At least for the one that's holding the source of food. Doctors could just kind of.
Umi huffs and stamps their feet in a very childlike manner and tries one last time.
Yes! 23 to hit! Oh, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, and yeah, because they got annoyed. They're actually legitimately annoyed,
Oh, yeah,
and
that'll
that's
be enough.
well,
Yeah, the plant withers from where around where it's holding the mouse, and the mouse is able to wiggle free and jump onto Umi, like Umi's shoulder, just kind of like breathing heavily and like starts like cleaning itself off. Doing that cute thing mice do.
yeah, and Umi just kind of pats the mouse.
Aww, that's so cute. The doctor's like finishing up the notes. Have successfully withered. Let's say, note to self:
I will
watch
say,
progression
I will
of.
say, I
Yep.
will say, by the time the doctor turns back, Umi is just standing there with the mouse, and Machi has been kind of like desummoned for the time being, because Machi is currently in the form of a snake.
I probably
Yeah,
panicked the mouse a little bit. One Maji.
yeah, you just hear Machi say, "Young master," and Umi just nods and like desummons her.
Aww, Umi's so good. So like the doctor puts the final dot of the period and then hangs up like the notes near the plant so you can make further observations, see whether the plant continues to die or to live, or scientist
Does
stuff.
the plant continue to die?
Um, you know what? Let's see. I'll do like a Constitution saving throw. Let's see how the plant does. 4. Um, you hit it with a lot of necrotic damage there. I was gonna say the vines that did get hit do wither probably over the course of the next week until like it's the doctor decides it's probably best to just prune it and leave the healthy vines that are left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Umi just like looks at the plant and kind of looks at the doctor, and then signs and asks if the doctor has watered the plant.
Well, that's the thing. Its natural habitat is someplace extremely hot, no water to speak of. So I've been experimenting with a few different food sources, like the one on your shoulder there. Seems to do pretty well with meat. Otherwise, I suppose I could try water, but I think that might hurt it. Still, for scientific purposes, I suppose we should give it a try. But maybe after it's had a chance to recuperate.
I'm just laughing at the idea that instead of hurting it, the water just causes the plant to like grow out of control.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. Uh,
Breaks, we have the power, breaks.
we do have the power. Like I mean, there is a sink, like you would expect in any laboratory, and there are plenty of flasks lying about. So if Umi wanted to give it a go,
Yeah, Umi does give it a go. Like they pad over to the sink with the flask. And actually, doctor, would you like to roll like a perception or insight on Umi? Because you haven't so far.
sure. We'll go insight, a 13 for
15.
insight.
All right, it's nothing like it's like it actually it actually makes sense that it takes you a while because like on Umi it doesn't feel strange. It feels completely normal. But as you're watching them and you're still like on that science high and like still picking up little details, you finally notice that Umi's hair kind of floats upwards like it's underwater, and when they walk, they do leave like little watery footprints behind them.
Hmm, interesting. Uh, Pulls out another smaller notebook and makes and like scribbles down like very small notes into it, and then just tucks it away into his lab coat.
Yeah, it is odd that like the doctor didn't notice it until now, but it kind of feels normal for Umi. Like the doctor had knows nothing about Umi, but it feels normal for them. Like it doesn't look strange. Like it feels about as normal as seeing a fish in water, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting effect. He assumes it's something magical in nature. Couldn't put a tentacle on exactly what.
Yep. Anyway, Umi pats back with a flask of water and like hands it at the doctor. Like, does the doctor want to give it a go?
Hmm. I'll take some notes. You go ahead. Choose whichever one you want. And like aside from the vines that were hanging down that were red, there are on another separate table some blue vines growing up. There's a red mushroom, different from the teal mushroom, and some kind of fungally spore-like mushrooms. In addition to that, a bit smaller and a bit wispier on both ones.
Umi decides to try and like water the downward vines first.
The downward vines. Okay. They are sunk into. Well, they're growing out of the ceiling, really. Like you can see. So how is Umi going to water them?
Hmm. In Umi might just kind of like kind of pour like some of the water into their hand and then kind of splash it at the vines.
Okay. Let's see how the vines take it. What do you? Hmm.
I
I
mean, it
guess.
depends. If it's a negative, then a con.
Yeah. How about? I think it was four for them. A seven. Um. Okay. I'll say that once the water hits, you hear like a slight hiss, and like the vines actually retract a little before the water kind of like absorbs into them from the surface, and then like there's a slight rumble. And for at least on the vines that were like graying and withering, they start to fill out again, like the blackened portions are healing. And there's another like tremble, and then suddenly the vine like whips out for the flask of water.
All right, I'm gonna roll a tech save, I suppose,
Okay.
and again with disadvantage because Umi's on land.
Oh boy.
But I don't think I need to roll the disadvantage. That's already so low.
Oh yeah. The Yeah, but in this case, the vines aren't interested in you, but they probably do like grab onto your hand as well as the flask while they're trying to get at the water. Um, so you are
Umi
once
just
again entangled, though not intentionally at this point.
Yeah, Umi just figures it out and drops the flask.
Okay. Yeah, the vine reaches down for the flask and then like sends like one tendril like like that the gif of the cat who's trying to get into the glass for the milk just like
Yeah.
crams like a tentacle in there and sucks up the water, and then there's like a pause again and a tremble, and then suddenly you can hear cracking in the stone above, and it sounds like, and then and then boom, like plant growth. The the, the
Umi
vines
like
surge
Umi
into the room.
Umi looks at the doctor like, is that it's supposed to do that?
The doctor is taking notes, but taking several steps back at the same time. Um,
And Umi still takes a few steps back and like puts a hand over the mouse that's still on their shoulder.
mhm. And you can hear rumbling from up above, like crashing sounds of stone, as it sounds like the plant is traveling upwards through the stone. But where the vines hit down below, they like dig into the ground, sort of like. At this point, they look a little less like roots and more like a little less like vines and look more like roots because they're digging into the stone. They completely overtake like some of the plant beds. Uh, the doctor's like notes are getting more and more fevered as he's trying to keep up with all the changes that are going on.
All right, 17. Looks at how they're climbing upwards, and Umi actually rolled pretty decently on intelligence despite only having a +1 modifier.
Mm-hmm. Um.
Umi looks at the doctor, and doctor, you feel a tug on your sleeve.
Oh. What? Yes. Yes.
They point upwards at the vines that are still creeping upwards, I'm assuming, and sign antler.
Oh, yeah, we should probably go check on that. Like the one, like another tentacle comes out, like the metal tentacle, not the vine, goes out, grabs Umi, and the doctor's once again, bustling up the steps to see what happened up above. And as they reach that portion in the hallway, there is this red, glimmering bark that's like poking through like a crumbled section of the wall where the plant has apparently grown upwards and has continued to go because you can still hear like some crashing and like the rustling of leaves at this point. So the doctor exchanges a glance with Ubi and probably runs out of the ruin entirely to get a step back and see what's going on out there. Um,
Umi follows.
yeah, and looking up over there's like a distinctly red, bright red tree that is now growing up and out of the castle. Um, and as it fills out, like this oddly beautiful red foliage is like growing from it, and but it sure is made a hole in the castle there, didn't it?
Yep. And like Umi just looks at the doctor and then looks at the tree and then looks at the doctor.
I mean, it's fascinating, but does Antler strike the type to you to give warnings before, excruciating punishment, or is it just excruciating punishment right off the bat?
Umi pauses and thinks about this and then signs second.
Second, okay. Well, that's nothing new. Knows I had plenty of that at the hands of the Illithids. So, alright. Still, provides fascinating new research possibilities.
I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Okay. 19.
19. Okay. Umi actually tucks on the doctor's sleeve.
Yes.
And Umi signs, tell him it's for potion ingredients.
Hmm. You think he'll. I mean, it could very well be for potion ingredients. I haven't had much chance to use it, but I suppose that'll give me a bit of leeway at least. Hmm.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what Umi
Yeah,
signs.
figure it out. Yes, thank you. And like he finally realizes that he still has Umi like dangling from the metal tentacle and like places him down, and pats Umi on the head. Maybe also just kind of surreptitiously getting a chance to interact with the water hair, the
Water
wavy.
hair basically like you aren't underwater. The water hair like basically reacts like if you try and pet someone like underwater, like sure you pet them, but the hair still flows upwards right after.
Interesting. Uh, but yeah, also just kind of like the pat of very patronizing.
Umi signs at the doctor. Has it stopped growing?
um, the doctor looks back up at the tree, looks at like the surrounding trees next to it for like reference. I think so. Imagine what you could do with a bunch of clippings of that and a lake of water. Kind of want
Umi
to try.
signs. Umi signs. It looks ominous.
It does. Pretty good look too, though. Whoa, I wonder what's going to happen when it rains.
Oh no! Umi ponders on this, and Umi goes, "No, that I don't think it's going to rain for a while."
Oh yeah, that's true. That there was a thunderstorm that just moved through.
Yeah, so like there probably won't be like even more like thunderstorms like moving through
Mm-hmm.
for a while yet. So doctor, you have time.
We do have time. Probably some of the growth was in part that it managed to break through to the outside of the castle and then, start sucking up the water that was just like in the environment. Yeah, so we have created a red water devouring tree in this FPS. Isn't that great?
I'm so sorry, Penguin. I swear to God. Like, the FPS was supposed to just be them talking.
Nope, nope, nope. We got hijinks. We got hijinks. We got giant trees. Oh boy.
I think Umi takes a look at the tree and then they take a look at the doctor, and I'm gonna roll TT to see what they do. Alright, doctor, you feel another tug on your sleeve.
Yes, Umi.
Umi gestures at your coat and then gestures at themselves.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Umi wants a lab coat.
Ah, hmm. I think that can be provided. I altered this one myself. But yes, let me get some measurements on you, and like like all four tentacles come out with like one of those little fabric measuring tapes, and like does like a quick like several uh wraps around you, does your arms and your legs, height, uh, waist, all that sort of stuff. Uh, and then just zips back into the backpack. It's like, all right, next time you visit, I shall have one ready for you. Ah, well, this will be great. I actually have an assistant, or well, assistant or fellow lab partner.
Umi shrugs. They don't mind either.
All right, well, we'll workshop that. But yes, this has been most interesting. I think you'd make a very good mad scientist, Umi.
Umi nods, and then they pull out a cutlass from their hammer space. And, because there are still vines,
Yeah,
like
there are
you gotta
vines.
prune. And I'm gonna roll another one. Yeah, they pull out, mechanically, it's a dagger. In appearance, it looks like a fishing knife. And they hold it out towards gray matter.
Oh, thank you. Uh, hmm. Uh, like, I think I can improve a little bit on this, though. And he hands the dagger back, and two of the tentacles come out. The little grippers splay out to the side and then start rotating really fast until it's like a weed whacker. I think
My
these will make
fucking
do.
god. Oh my fucking god. Okay, I guess they're pruning like the vines. Who knows? Maybe Adler won't notice the big rat tree. Or at the very least, if they like get rid of all the vines that were growing out from the lab, he won't think it's from
Yeah,
the lab.
yeah. I mean, a red tree, like, the antlered king, red cloak. Who knows? Maybe he'll think it's an aesthetic choice.
Who
But yeah,
knows? Maybe you can say it's like the spores from the portal or whatever.
I know. Oh, yeah. Come to represent like the red tree, red cloak. Yee. Okay, I think that's probably a good point to leave it off here. Just with
Yeah,
just them
just
weed whacking this giant tree they've grown.
yeah.
Back plants back.
Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed
Oh.
the absolute tomfoolery these two got up to. In their defense, okay, all right. Number one, Umi is a child. Number two, the
Mhm.
doctor should know better, but like the
No,
doctor is also
yeah, the
not.
doctor should know better, but no, the doctor has an aesthetic to fill and he is dedicated.
Yeah. Can you
But
blame
yeah.
Umi? Like Umi did ask permission from the doctor. The doctor just kept saying yes.
Yes. The doctor is very good at yes and.
Yeah, and then please don't hurt the water child. The water child did ask permission. The water child was a child, and the adult in question should have
You
been very
brought a
familiar.
mad scientist into your house, Antler. This is what you have wrought. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We'll see what happens next time on Toonkind. Ruindall Rambles at some future point, or I don't know, an FPS. But yes, it's been lovely. Thank you so much, Vamp.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye,
God.
everybody. Bye.